Friday, and regardless of obstacles and challenges, we leap over and we keep making things happen. That's finishing strong. So what we are going to do, I have the honor and the privilege for the month of July. I am going to be featuring a special guest for every show, Monday through Saturday. We will have to do, just for the month of July, we will have to do a time change from 2 p.m. to 2:30 because I want to make sure that I can get all of my guests on. And the peak time that we usually work at 12 to 1 or 12 to 12:30, that's when they're in the groove of their businesses. So we wanted to make sure that this being the first day of July, that I give you notification that today's show and tomorrow's show will be at 12 o'clock. But starting Tuesday, July 5th, that marks the 3-month anniversary, April, May, and June. Oh, 4 months. Oh my gosh. I had a month slip by me. 4 months. On April 5th, we started Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. And we are going to start on July 5th, a new quarter, a new month. And the show will be from 2 to 2:30. But today's show and tomorrow's show will be at our regular time because I want to get everybody accolade to the new time change for the month of July. I have the honor and the privilege on this Finish Strong Friday to introduce to you a young man that has been very, very instrumental in my business, in my ministry, in my personal life. He and his beautiful wife, I tell you, they have been a 100% support to me. They were the ones that started me on my financial journey because back in 2012, honestly, I was a hot mess. Just came out of some, family situations, and I needed a new and fresh start. And this young man and his awesome, wonderful wife came to my rescue. He sat me down and shared with me how to develop my financial credit portfolio. This young man is, oh my gosh, I don't want to take too long because I'll get weepy. But I am here to introduce to you a young man by the name of Gavin Taylor. He is a published author of a book series called Money on My Street. The series includes the Credit Repair Edition, the ABCDs of Wealth Accumulation, and Money on My Street, a children's guide to wealth. So he's taking care of every demographic that everyone needs to know about how to build your financial position. He is the business owner, along with his wife, Tanya Taylor, GJT Enterprises, Inc. Now, I will be having all of his information on my social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. This recording will be on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to go back and refresh some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. We're just going to scratch the surface, but we're going to go in deep. I cannot be remiss in mentioning the fact that he is also a man of God who walks with God and God walks with him. He and his wife are the pastors of the Love of Jesus Family Church in the Belleville, West Orange area. Sons of our parents, Pastor Jason and Gail Alvarez, who just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on yesterday, and 30 plus years in ministry. And shout out to all of my Love of Jesus family up in Jersey, Brick City, and my Bishop Mama, Bishop Barbara Glanton, pastor of the Love of Jesus Family Church of Newark. These are the people that have helped me with my family in raising my children, just have been extremely instrumental in my family. And I thought it not robbery to start this month's show off with a representative of my home church. So let's get started. Now, Pastor Gavin, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Awesome. Can everybody hear us? Give us a shout out.
Please let us know if you can hear.
Awesome, awesome, because you do not want to miss this. And as I said, it is being recorded, so you will be able to revert back to my YouTube channel, Lady Verne, LadyVerne. Now, my first question for you, Pastor Gavin, just tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, how you came about your business, GJT Enterprises, LLC. How did this all get started for you?
Sure, absolutely. I guess I'd have to say that it started all the way back when I was in college, and not in a good way. So what happened was, when I got into college, just turned 18, and, you know, we were broke college students. You know, we were just trying to survive off of Chef Boyardee and crackers, you know. So we were broke, and all of a sudden, I started receiving all of these credit card offers in the mail. And, you know, being naive to the financial world, it kind of felt like free money to me. So I took out all of these credit cards and ran up all of this debt and kind of destroyed my finances before I could even get started good. Yes. And, you know, I think it's the story of a lot of people. You know, we don't have financial education, so we don't understand the ramifications of having, you know, poor credit and things of that nature. So I suffered through that for a while until I made the decision that I had to get my finances in order. As I started getting a little bit older, you start wanting things. You start wanting, you know, to get a car, an apartment, things of that nature, but your credit is destroyed. So how are you going to get those things? So I started self-educating myself and learning how to put my finances, you know, back in order. And I learned how to repair my credit. I learned how to begin to build my savings and my finances and invest and things of that nature. And, you know, for the most part, self-taught. And then I made a decision that there's a lot of people out here that have my same story, and I want to help people in the way that, you know, I've been helped. You know, I want people to understand, you know, the power of having good credit and having your financial future in order. And so that's kind of how it was birthed, so to speak. There's a lot that happened in between all of that, but that's kind of how it was birthed.
Yes, awesome, awesome. I can attest to that because I was definitely one of his students that when he completed a core portion of his journey, he was now able to duplicate and replicate to be able to share and put people on the right track with their credit. Now, what was the vision, the drive that made you turn GJT Enterprises, LLC into a legal business entity? Because being that this is business strategies and tips, we're going to be sharing a couple of things in that aspect. So share your journey of how GJT came about.
Well, I was working professionally with a Fortune 500 company. And, you know, I won't mention the name, but it was a great company, you know, and I enjoyed working there, but I didn't love it, right? It was okay. I was making good money, you know, working in this financial company, but I didn't love what I was doing because I was very far removed from the end user, right? It became about numbers. It wasn't about people anymore.
Yes.
And I made a decision that I wanted to work with people one-on-one to help them with their finances. I didn't want to deal with large numbers. I wanted to deal with individuals and help them personally with their finances. So as I started to research how I could go about doing that, I found out that the best thing that I could do was, you know, start a business. You know, one, for protections, right? LLCs offer, you know, protection to a person personally. You're creating another individual, right? So instead of, you know, somebody, God forbid, would ever try to sue me, they wouldn't be suing me, they'd be suing the organization. Yes. So I said, I need to create an LLC, right? Which is, you know, stands for Limited Liability Corporation, and just, it limits you to the liability that you have in the organization. So whatever money you put in, that's all that if anybody try to sue you, they can take. So I said that was the first reason why I wanted to get incorporated. I wanted to protect my personal assets.
Yes. Awesome. Woo. Yes. Now, in this present climate of business, what are 3 suggestions that you would give to business owners, entrepreneurs, to take their business to the next level? Say they've started, they're in their 1 to 3 year period, or they are in their 3 to 5 year, or they're ready to make that turn going into their 5 to 10. What are just some suggestions that you would make sure that they had in place in order to make that next dimensional move in their business?
Well, I would definitely say one is, start building your business credit. Business credit is so powerful, and many people don't understand how powerful it really is, and also they don't understand, how trying it can be to get started, right? And the sooner you get started with it, the better. And oftentimes you need to make sure that your credit is good, because if you want to start business credit, there's ways to do it without your own personal credit, but the easiest way to get it going is to have your own personal credit in place. So, as I'm educating people on building their own personal credit, I'm also teaching them the power of business credit. Because once you establish business credit, now you can start taking things out of your name, right? Everything doesn't have to be on your credit report.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah, you may have to guarantee it, but it still doesn't show up on your credit report unless you don't pay. So now that gives you more leverage in your organization to be able to purchase things, whether that's a car or property, or even to take out, loans and things of that nature. And so that's one of the things I would definitely say to do. The other thing I would say to do is this, and this I learned even on a deeper level during the pandemic. And that was every small business, every large business, right? Personally, in every type of aspect you have in your life, you need to have at least minimum 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account, right? You need to have that emergency fund in place. The reason why a lot of businesses went out of business throughout the pandemic was because a lot of, when I say a lot of businesses, I'm not just talking about small businesses. Large corporations went out of business because they were cash poor, right? They were so overextended. They had no type of cash or emergency fund to take care of the expenses that they normally have, right? Your rent, your utilities, right? Your inventory, things that you need to keep your business running, payroll, things of that nature, right? If you don't have that emergency fund in place, and you're relying on borrowing money, and then money dries up, or clients dry up, right? Like during the pandemic, nobody could go out, right? It wasn't because people had a bad business problem. It was because nobody was buying anything. Nobody was going out. Right. So you had to have money to keep going.
Yes.
And a lot of organizations, a lot of small businesses, large businesses, people in general were cash poor. So have that emergency fund in place. And then I would say this, though, as a number 3, is to, be innovative, be creative.
Yes.
Look for the areas that no one else is touching and look to innovate there, right? Always look to evolve your business, right? You should never be stagnant in your business and think that this is it. You always have to add another layer, right? So those are pretty much my 3 tips.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Yes, add another layer to your business. If I'd ever thought that I'd have been 68 days doing live on social media, I had to put another layer on my business. Now I have to take this layer to another dimension and make sure that my guests can be on so that you can see their face. But trust me, before July 5th, I'm going to have it on lock. So no worries. We're going to have that done. But I do want to, you had given us 3 suggestions, but now to wrap this up, there's 2 things. Want to be able to promote I have one of the books, Money on My Street, The Credit Repair. But on Amazon, you can get the Credit Repair edition of Money on My Street, the ABCDs of Wealth Accumulation, and a Children's Guide to Wealth. That one I definitely know you can get on Amazon as well. The ABCDs of Wealth Accumulation, Gavin, are you able to get that book on Amazon as well?
You are, and you can also get them from my website as well.
Yes, and what is that website? Because you know me, I'd rather you go directly to the source. For my Magnet Exchange Group people out there, we know anytime we purchase something, we go straight to the source. We get it right directly so that we can be a blessing. So please tell us what your website is.
Okay, so the website is www.moneyonmystreet.com, and I just actually threw it in the chat so everybody can see that.
Awesome.
I also wanted to add one more thing as far as a book is concerned. I just got finished writing a book with some educators from an organization called For Parents Organization. And
yes.
We co-wrote a book called Yes, You Can Do This Parenting Guide. And so it's a book that really the educators put together about, helping parents, with raising their children and understanding different things that, when they go down. And one of the areas in it that they wanted to talk about was finance. So they brought me in to talk a little bit about, or write about finance. So we wrote a book together called Yes, You Can Do This Parenting Guide. And that book is available on Amazon.
Woohoo! Awesome. Oh my gosh. So that's a whole collective library that you can take advantage of. And I am excited that we are going to be collaborating on a project as well with the Urban League of Essex County, Becoming an Entrepreneur, Steps to Starting a Business. So we're going to be talking about, let me look at our topics here, LLC formations and beyond, opening business accounts, business credit, and we're working on financial institutions. So that's going to be every Wednesday, every third Wednesday.
Right.
Correction. Every third Wednesday of the month. Repeat. Every third Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. So put it in your calendars in your phone and let it run so that you're setting it up so that every month on the third Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock, Steps to Starting a Business. We're sponsored by the Urban League of Essex County. I'm honored and privileged to be a part of this third Wednesday of the month workshop, where I will be sharing some of my business strategies and tips and helping especially young entrepreneurs. We're looking to really impact the next generation of financial entrepreneurs and business owners to make sure that they are thoroughly equipped so that they'll end up making maybe some new mistakes. But we want to stop the generational bad habits of handling finances in personal and in business. So you will be seeing that flyer posted in my social media. Please, ma'am, please, sir, make sure you're saving that in your calendars. That's every third Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. Look for the Urban League of Essex County, Steps to Starting a Business. Now I have one, and don't forget to go their church, their business is on Facebook, is on Instagram, Money on My Street. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button so anything that's going on in their feed as well, you can pick that up. You'll end up with some strategies and tips and information that will help you along your business journey. It is so critically important that you are connecting and making a network. And that's one of my goals for this month. I'm going to be bringing to you a series of networks that you can connect to resources, that you can connect to people that genuinely have a heart to help people. They're not out to connive and beat off people, but they're really giving you genuine, real information, truthful information that you can use, that you can apply as soon as you hear it, that you can start your journeys in your personal and in your businesses. So with that being said, Mr. Gavin, I have one last question for you.
Sure.
What is one business strategy or tip that you would leave with our audience today as a summary?
To wrap it up, I would just say, find if you're really thinking about what you need to do, if you're thinking about starting a business, this is a good way to think about it. Find something that you would do for free and create a business out of it.
Yes.
Your passion, something that you love, it's very important to keep you going, especially when things get a little trying, right? If you do it for free, you won't worry so much in the beginning about the money. It'll be about growing the business and making something that is successful as opposed to I'm just trying to make money, right?
Yes.
What you're passionate about.
Awesome. So, that is so true, and I can attest to that. I had my grandson last week or two come to me. He was doing something that he really loved, really enjoyed, and someone was paying him for it. And he said, "You know what, Grandmama? I feel funny about getting paid for something that I love." I said, "Son, do you realize that you have just experienced what generations of people had been hoping and praying to have the opportunity to do, to actually do something that you are passionate about, he said, I would do it for free. I said, I know you would. I said, but a workman is worthy of his hire. And because you're doing it out of your heart, out of your passion, and out of a love for it, that when your business has its ups and downs and ins and outs, you would still focus on it because you're doing something you love. You have people that are on jobs 20, 30, 40 years, and a lot of them do not love what they do. They're there because of the benefits that it provides for them and the lifestyle that they're anticipating on developing, but they have to talk themselves into going to work every day. But you don't have to do that because you're doing something that you love and is extremely passionate. Pastor Gavin, I am so thankful that you joined me on today. You have truly started this month off on the right foot, the right setting, the right atmosphere, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you again for this opportunity to be working alongside of you with the Urban League of Essex County. Thank you so much. I tell you, when you connect with people that have a like-minded and magnetic attraction, things just keep connecting. We're talking about, oh my gosh, has to be a relationship over 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even musically, he's ministered musically. He's been the organist of our church for many, many years. Armor bearer to our pastors, Pastor Jason and Gail Alvarez. And I'm here to tell you, even in that arena, he has been a blessing to me. He's given me platforms to bring my music out to, his church and ministry. And I'm just so grateful to have this type of relationship in my life. Good relationships will stand the test of time, people. So make sure in your personal and in your business relationships, you are developing relationships where there's a win-win at every turn, and it just grows and develops and just becomes something so precious. Challenges are coming, but when you have the right relationships and the right connections, the right connectivity, you'll be just fine. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today on Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L. Don't forget to go on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I can guarantee you when it comes through your feed, it's going to be just what you need to hear for your business on that particular day. So bye-bye for now. Hey, enjoy your holiday weekend. This is supposed to be a weekend of independence, but make sure that you are developing a finish strong Friday, go into your weekend. Breathe, spend that time with your family, get quiet, get meditative, and just allow God to speak and bring a refreshing to you personally and bring a refreshing to you as far as the trajectories that you need to take your business, your family, Enjoy your family. Love on your family. There's been so many people still transitioning. Don't take people for granted. Pick up that phone. Go through your contacts. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Let me tell you what I'm doing, and let me find out what you're doing. It doesn't take nothing but a little bit of time that is so, so precious and so, so priceless. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye for now.